Get ready to be amazed by the impressive military might of South Korea. This nation boasts one of the most cutting-edge and advanced militaries in all of Asia. And now, after nearly 7 decades of peaceful coexistence under the protective umbrella of the United States, Seoul is ready to assert its independence and actively defend against any North Korean aggression or Chinese threats. South Korea is investing $275 billion from 2021 to 2025 for self-defense, and the Korean aviation industry has unveiled its $8 billion supersonic fighter, the F-21B, which is already making waves on the global military stage. The country first announced the fighter in 2015, and subsequent developments took only 6 years, with its first flight slated for 2022. The Hawk will make Seoul an upper-tier player in the international tactical aviation market. South Korea has big plans for the CF-21 as it could become a hit with smaller air forces or countries seeking an advanced and more affordable fighter fleet. Many of the headlines accompany the unveiling of South Korea's 4.5 generation fighter. That would be a cheaper alternative to the Lockheed Martin F-35. While it may not have the full stealth and networking capabilities of the F-35, it represents a capable and expensive investment in South Korean independence. The ramp-up of the program symbolically elevates South Korea to a historic club of 8 countries developers of supersonic fighters. There are obvious American fingerprints in the year-21's design and components, but about 65% of the fighters actually have South Korean origin. The new fighter jet is 55 feet long, with a wingspan of 36 feet, making it just a shade longer and narrower than the F-35, a Joint Strike Fighter, and noticeably smaller than the F-18F Super Hornet and February 22nd Raptor. The Boramae looks a lot like the F-22 Raptor, with canted vertical stabilizers, diamond-shaped wings, angular air intakes, and windjet engines. Though it also bears some obvious resemblance to the F-35, the F-21 is a twin rather than a single-engine airplane. The prototypes are powered by a pair of General Electric F414 engines to access the aerodynamic performance of the F-16. See, the same engines in the F-18F Super Hornet can generate a maximum of 44,000 pounds of thrust and reach a top speed of 1,400 miles per hour, or just Mach to the supply of 244/14 engines for the whole fleet of 120 aircraft will help try to skip engine developments and ensure a solid supply chain by 2032. The F-21 figures for a payload up to 17,000 pounds and a range of approximately 1,800 miles, which puts the F-21 ahead of the F-35 in terms of performance attributes. South Korea refers to the Boramae as a 4.5 generation fighter because the fighter isn't meant to be as stealthy as 5th gens like the F-22 or the F-35. Though it almost certainly has a radar signature on par with the Eurofighter Typhoon, which is smaller than the 4th gen is like the F-15 and F-16. The Boramae is somewhere in between all aspects. Stealth is blunted by choice to carry the KGR-21's weapons externally on 6 underwing and 4 under fuselage hardpoints. The sacrifice in detectability is offset by the lower cost and likely shorter development made possible by foregoing an internal weapons bay. All weapons for the strike variant are currently in the Korean Air Force inventory, including paved way to laser-guided bombs, the world's smallest GBU-39 bombs, and GBU-31 Joint Direct Attack Munition bombs. The CF-21's technologies include an advanced, electronically scanned array radar system for detecting and tracking aerial threats, an infrared search and track system for quietly detecting aircraft at shorter ranges, and an electro-optical target pod that can detect targets on the ground. A locally produced Hanwha Systems active electronically scanned array radar can be teamed with long-range weapons like NVIDIA's Meteor air-to-air missile or Saab/Taurus cruise missile, extending air defense reach beyond that of the F-16's. The fighter jet is set to replace the aging fleet of Vietnam War-era F-4 Phantoms and EF-5E Tigers. Mass production of the CF-21 Block 1 will begin when 6 prototypes complete 2,200 sorties over the next 4 years. Then the President said 40 F-21s will be delivered to the Korean Air Force by 2028, and 80 more jets will enter service by 2032. Also, the K-21 could likewise give Southeast Asian customers like Thailand, the Philippines, and possibly even Iraq an alternative to fourth-generation European and Russian aircraft, with the added benefit of design and operational features as a partner with a 20% share. Indonesia plans to acquire 50 CF-21s with a mix of air defense and strike variants because of concerns about China's burgeoning influence and territorial claims in the South China Sea. The multirole frigates could blend well with KR-21, sending a message to China as the threat of Chinese weapons systems and airframe manufacturing capacity over Korean equivalents becomes increasingly obvious. A decade ago, China surprised the world, with the Chengdu July 20th becoming the second nation globally, with domestically produced fifth-generation fighter jets and operational capability. China's Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon, though likely less agile and all-around stealthy than the U.S. February 22nd is generally considered the first credible operational fifth-generation stealth fighter designed outside of the United States. The eventual widespread integration of the NSI radars into modern Chinese designs means operating sensor capabilities in the same ballpark as cutting-edge Western fighters. The Chengdu Ju-20 twin, after burning turbofan engines and supersonic inlets, enables an aircraft to reach Mach 2.0 with a simpler intake. The G-20 can carry up to 6 air-to-air missiles and longer-range missiles, including the 6 precision-guided bomb and newly developed PL-15 missile with pulse motor also allows a lethal second burst of speed as it's close with its target. But July 20th are large and expensive, and just as in the United States, several years before China became interested in smaller, cheaper alternatives, the Shenyang Aircraft Corp has also independently developed another stealth fighter called the FC-31 or J-31 Gyrfalcon, resembling the US F-35. South Korea's new F-21 fighter jet boasts impressive technology and capabilities, and is set to become a key player in the global tactical aviation market. It represents a significant investment in the country's independence and defense.